Good thing about conservatives is we have a mind of our own. The bad thing about conservatives is we have a mind of our own. Wile E. Coyote has made a very, very big appearance. Flag football, it seems to be the new thing. And a legend, an icon in rock and roll history has passed away. Welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of Two Hands and a Foot. And then share this with your friends so that everybody can enjoy this podcast. Let's get started. So Ron DeSantis, if you haven't been living under a rock recently, we all know that Ron DeSantis has put his hat in the ring to bid for the candidacy of the President of the United States. We've all heard of that. We've heard the hubbub. We've heard Trump's response. We've heard DeSantis' response to Trump. And say whatever you want to say. It's a good thing, and it's not a good thing. One of the things I will say I like about Ron DeSantis is that as the governor of Florida, he told the federal government no. He had the guts to tell the federal government no. We need more governors like that. In my state, we had to have, thankfully, our House and our Senate override a veto to protect women. We need more governors like Ron DeSantis. We need more homegrown people like Ron DeSantis to be able to stand up to the federal government and say no. Because what will happen is that as more and more do that, the ability to do so will increase, and it'll happen even more. So, I'm kind of torn. I like Ron DeSantis. I like what he's done for Florida. I like the example that he's set, and I wish that he would stay there. Not because I don't want him as president, because I like what he's doing in Florida, and we need more of that. So I think that unless he's got someone just like him, a clone maybe, to step in and take his place, I'm not sure. On top of that, as conservatives, we don't groupthink. You don't tell us what to do. That's what we're famous for. You don't tell us what to do. Liberals will follow blindly whoever they're told to follow. Case in point. Okay, so as conservatives, we go always Trump, not DeSantis, because Trump says DeSantis is bad, DeSantis is bad. And DeSantis followers say the same thing. Same thing with Tim Scott. Same thing with Nikki Haley. And anybody else who throws their hat in the ring. And so then we're all ticked off if our guy or gal doesn't get it. And so we hem and haw over whether we're going to support the other guy if they're the actual candidate now for president. Whereas the liberals are going to put their guy out there and go follow him. And they're going to blindly follow. So it is a good thing that we stick to our guns, pun intended, about some things. But I think we can do better on maybe rallying around things, maybe saying to both President Trump and to Governor DeSantis, hey, quit talking smack about each other. Tell people what you're going to do to help and let us make a decision. But you need to know the bad side of everybody. Guess what? We know the bad side of President Trump. We all know it. We had it for 4 years. We saw what was done beforehand. And if you want to, say that anything that DeSantis has done is worse, okay, prove it. But it better be right. So you sit here and you come into this and you go, what do I do? Well, it's all a personal choice. And what you're willing to live with, and what you're willing to accept. Whether it be personal character or their presence on a stage. Yes, personal character does matter to me. It does. But it's like the movie Master and Commander. You got to pick the best of two evils. So if you're going to look at it as everyone has bad character, because nobody is perfect. So you got to look at it as what policies do you agree with more? So it is a good thing that we stick to our guns. It is a good thing that we have a mind of our own. Because we can think. We think critically. And that's a good thing. But then sometimes we get hung up on thinking critically that we have the only opinion that matters. And that you see the flaw in somebody and not their good policies. That's all I have to say about that. Target. Target. You would have thought Target learned the first time around. They started pushing the far left ideology. And it started losing money back then. But then it got quiet. It got quiet. Target was like, ha! And then it got quiet for 5 to 7 years or so. Probably even more than that. 10 maybe. 10 to 15 probably, depending on if I'm thinking correctly. And it got quiet. And all of a sudden they push out this stuff again because they think it's good, but they forgot what happened to Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch, the parent company. They forgot what happened to them. And now all of a sudden they're losing tons of money. And so they pull a Wile E. Coyote. You know those scenes where Wile E. Coyote just goes dashing after and then off the cliff and then realizes that he's off the cliff and then tries to get back in a hurry and then still falls? Well, that's what's happening to Target right now. And Target said this about why they were pulling that crap off of their shelves and their website. Not because it's wrong and they learned their lesson, but because of potential danger to their employees. Because people go into the stores and running them up, so to speak. How about you use your eyes, the corporation of Target, and go, huh, so that's what happens to people who follow that ideology blindly. Okay. And then don't do it. Whether or not you agree with it, don't do it. Because it's bad for business. You're in the business of making money. What you believe is ruining your company. Because you're putting that as a priority and forgetting that over half of this country does not like that stuff to be prevalent. You are forgetting that. You see the legacy media projecting that it's out there. No. Over half of this country hates that stuff. Wants nothing to do with that stuff. Knows that stuff is wrong. But you're going to do it anyway? Well, you're learning your lesson. You're losing money. You're losing money. So go ahead, pull that Wile E. Coyote. We can see. We can see that just fine. Moving on, the NFL may as well just be flag football. They're taking potential contact out of a contact sport. You might as well make it flag football. The new rule is going to be this: on kickoffs. So at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of the second half, after every score, when a kickoff occurs, if the receiver signals a fair catch, the ball's going to be placed at the 25-yard line. The problem with that, as every single, special teams coordinator argued, was, well, what happens to the guy who can consistently put it between the 20 and the end zone? That's a part of strategy to get the ball down there and pin them close to their end zone as a means of a defensive strategy, to make them have to go a longer length to score, potentially. That's a part of strategy. You're taking that away from football. Next, it's punts. Anybody who signals a fair catch, 25-yard line. So you're gonna take away that part of it as well. You might as well flag football rules. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi before you rush. No pads. And still pay $230 million contracts to people who don't deserve it. You might as well. You might as well. And I get it. You're trying to play your safety. Play your safety. Okay. Flag football, here we come. You're gonna see it. $200 million players paid to play flag football. Mark my words, you'll see it. I grew up necessarily listening to Tina Turner. I don't know, where I came into being, but I always have understood a legend in the rock and roll world. One of the cool things, though, is that I got to experience a little bit. I got to experience a little bit of a branch off of her having been in the military. And I learned this from one of my former sergeants. In the military, we do this thing called marching. I don't know if you've ever seen it in movies or in real life. We get in this little big boxy thingy, and we all march in the same tempo, and when one person directs us. And sometimes it's done with what's called a cadence, a walking song, so to speak. Well, what I want to do for you right now is a good long while ago, I had graduated a school, an army school, and part of the school was that the final graduation ceremony, there's the dismissal of the school. And I got chosen to say the cadence for our class as we dismissed the auditorium. So, without further ado, here is that recording.
This concludes the official ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished honor graduate, the leadership awardee, and the instructor of the cycle will be posted at the front of the stage if you wish to recognize them. Please remain for the presentation of the honorary awards.
Up, Academy! Up and cut! Right, face! Forward, march! Left, right! Left a good job in the city! Working for the man every night and day! Never lost a minute of sleep! He can
hope you enjoyed it. It was actually really, really fun for me to do that. I had a blast. If you couldn't tell, my voice was a little strained because we had practiced it about a dozen times, and I did it full bore each and every time before we actually did it for real at the ceremony. But I had a blast with it. It was a drawn from that Tina Turner song, Proud Mary. So, as you could tell. So, I hope you enjoyed it. I really do think that it was a good time. Hey, it is okay to pay tribute to people who made an impact on the lives of generations of people in an area of art such as music. So rest in peace, Tina Turner. And for those of you who enjoyed her music, I hope you enjoyed that cadence. Well, that's all I have for today. Everything that I have discussed that I need links for are, of course, in my description. With that being said, I'll catch you on the flip side.